Hello, for the 147 subscribers. This week I've made $8,270 with my AI automation agency, which is not cash collected but rather the deal value that we have closed. Sometimes I feel like I need to share this information because if you watch my channel, you see that in general I am very realistic and sometimes pessimistic person when it comes to the AI agency model. And I received a lot of feedback like this after one of the recent videos that I did where I hosted a live webinar and I've been listing the problems with the model. And people were saying, hey, Eugene, I've been looking at this model and you opened my eyes. I'm rethinking it now, or stuff like that. I was like, wow, guys, no, that was not the point. The point was to show you and to set the right expectations. But this is still by far, this my opinion, the best agency model that you can start in 2025 and the best offerings that you can add to your existing services. So I decided to make this video to restate and show that I am actively like making money with the with the model, right? So this is my full-time income, even though sometimes I say that this is not as easy as it seems because of multiple factors. I'm not gonna show you like Stripe screenshots because first, I'm not using Stripe, and second of all, because screenshots are easily, especially like the financial screenshots, can be easily like faked. That's why I rather show you the actual like conversations that I had with my clients. Last week, I had 10 meetings, 5 of which were from cold emails, 4 from my content, and 1 from the referral. This is how my actual calendar usually looks. 50% of not the prospects but the clients come from my content because we receive much more prospects from the cold emails, obviously, but they're not that qualified. So we have more prospects from the cold outreach, but in terms of the clients, right now it's about 50-50. So 50% is the content plus referrals and 50 is still the cold outreach. Okay, so from the cold outreach, I still have 11 prospects, I think, in the pipeline. This is my front. I will blur everything so that, I don't link any information. But this is one of the fronts because we use for the smart lead, we use one front, and for the instantly we use another one. And we have, so it's like 11 prospects still in the pipeline. This is where all the emails from our cold email campaigns go into. We don't use the Unibox of Instantly or the master inbox from the Smart Lead. So I had 7 calls booked like this, last week, this week, and 5 actually showed up. I think 1 rescheduled and 1 still not getting back to me. I am showing here the actual 2 deals that I was able to close. As you can see, this is my Read AI. I use Phantom and Read AI to record all of the meetings, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, 6 because other ones were, I think, in Google Meets. Okay, so that was the client. He replied with, I would be happy to set up a brief call. Obviously, the reply was 11 days ago, so it was not exactly the email that we've sent last week, but I'm saying that that was the meeting that happened like last week. So I've been offering them, if I'm not mistaken, okay, so this is the funny part. My emails primarily are AI generated. I talk a lot about getting clients in my 99 players bootcamp. Okay, there we have a separate module where I talk about cold outreach and how I do, what's my messaging and what's my strategies. So here it was like one of the messages, one of the like punchlines were fully AI generated. And as you can see, the prospect was not even sure what this means. And I wasn't sure neither, just because it was like AI generated thing. So anyways, we hopped on the call and eventually I sold them AI document processing, which is not just document processing by itself, but it's kind of a pipeline where the lead send an email. Usually this is an existing customer, not the new customer. Then we were like thinking, do we want to trigger AI automatically for all the emails, but for right now, they will add a label to the email. It will trigger the make.com automation in make.com. It will do multiple things. So essentially, we are processing the email, creating the proposal from the email, adding the prospect to the Pipedrive, sending follow-up, and sending SMS not from the Pipedrive, but separately, and putting all the notes in the Pipedrive. This is what they use for their CRM. And I sold it for $7,500. This is very, very rare use case where I actually sold it right away and collected all the cash. Okay, so no, I mean, so this is a very rare use case where I have not sold them a prototype or the demo, but rather sold them the solution right away, because we've been going back and forth multiple times, and I think I sent him my YouTube channel. So I was like, yeah, so did you check my YouTube? So he was kind of already warmed up with my content. So I decided to not offer them prototype nor the demo. They paid, if I'm not mistaken, 60% upfront already as a deposit, and we're still working on the automation. Obviously, we started this week. So the second one was the guy who replied that we want to schedule the demo if possible, because at the end of the email, my call to action was, hey, do you want to hop on the demo? No, like I was saying that we already built it, right? So it's kind of faking it because we haven't built it yet. But I was saying, do you want to hop on the demo? He said yes, and then we actually built it, and I presented on the call. So we've been going back and forth, and yeah, so this is why it's an interesting use case, because as you can see, I was kind of following up, and from what I was like honestly thinking is that this is probably not the prospect that I would close right away without an actual paid prototype. Okay, so the demo was free, but the demo and the prototypes are the same thing. It's just on the wording. Sometimes I say that the demo is free and the prototype is like a paid thing that you need to pay a few $100s for. And this is the difference. Here, as you can see, he was replying to each and every email. Okay, so there is no days, but he was, if I remember correctly, he was like replying within 1 hour. So he was very interested. Plus, he checked my YouTube and he said that, Eugene, I looked at my YouTube. Yeah. So he was interested, and I was pretty confident that I would be able, if we find an exact use case on the call, because again, I was not yet sure what we're going to do. I was pretty confident that if we do find the use case, I will sell them the solution right away. But here, as you can see, I was kind of, okay, so first email, then I followed up. Can we do it Wednesday noon? I think he rescheduled it here. Yeah, so, and I was waiting for in the room, so I said I'm waiting, and I also left him a voicemail. I think he did not show up here, and we rescheduled later. Yeah, so he was kind of all over the place, and I don't think that it's just the thing that with the process, it's not the problem that he doesn't need this. It's more like he has a lot of things going on in the business. That's why I've been pitching him an AI marketing agent. This is AI agents marketing approach that I started to pitch on this channel, or we are trying to drive more revenue to the business and not just automate certain things. So I sold him the prototype, which was just a pipeline optimization with follow-ups. So when we talk about AI marketing agents, it's in the general terms, it's either the reactivation agent or the agent that follow up with the prospects or the leads, right? Or the existing customers to try to do something. So we still, like, honestly have not found a exact use case. So their use case was, and this is what we're building it around, that a lot of people are die out within the pipeline. They're not actually looking at the materials that they provide them. They're not booking the calls. That's why we are currently building them just a simple retail plus make.com that is connected to their calendar thing. Just the agent that will follow up with the prospects. We are training it on the website of the prospect. I think next week I will present the solution and we'll see if they want to move forward. Yeah, and I think it was $200. Now, for the content clients, as you see, I post two types of content. One is the business related content for you, for the most part, for the guys that want to sell AI solutions and want to build an agency and want to make money with it, like me. This is where my like 99 players, this is like third business that I own, plus my one-on-one coaching comes in handy. This is how I monetize you guys, my audience. This is how I help you, thus I get paid for it. I am not counting like this because this is like a separate thing within my business, right? So I actually had 2 one-on-one coaching calls, which were like the request last week. One I closed and one was like not qualified because I qualify everything since I guarantee the results. So I'm not counting this in like here in the deal value. But I did have 2 Quimple client calls, which were one I think from the YouTube, which was like so he was the YouTube subscriber for 2 months, and one was from the viral post. I posted this post like I think a week ago. This is not the most viral post that I have ever posted. It got like 800 comments, but half of them are mine comments, just because I reply to everyone and essentially like providing the information, right? So I tell them, hey, if you want this thing, you can repost, you can connect with me, you can comment, and obviously I reply to all the comments and sending them information. So that's why it's more comments. This is a very valid way to grow on LinkedIn. If you want, I can, like, I was thinking to start posting more about like getting clients from the content, because there are some tricks and tricks that you can do to make it like faster. We have, again, like, I'm not like selling it to you, but we have a separate module with the content marketing within our bootcamp. But if you are interested, let me know in the comments, and the next video I will like do something regarding the content and how to get clients. Anyways, so I was here, as you can see, I think this is not the video because this was the recent post with the AI automations. Anyways, so that was the post with the AI agents marketing model. People were interested. I was sending them the information, and then I was asking them a question, right? Then once they reply the question, this is just a regular like setting. So I've been trying to decide and see if the prospect is qualified based on the responses, and then book a call. Again, I don't delegate it to anyone just yet. I'm still super curious like what people are doing in the space, why they're looking at my content. Here was the YouTube from the YouTube subscriber. He booked the discovery from my calendar, and yeah, here, as you can see, this is like a very rare use case when I said like $6,000. So I was kind of giving him an estimate based on the description that he said, even though I was not sure what exactly he's looking for. But I decided to list this to qualify the prospects, because again, I had the prospects in my pipeline, so I didn't want to spend and waste my time on the unqualified leads. So I was like sending this message, and he said, hey, Eugene, I'm comfortable with like 6K, just one. So he was like, we were going back and forth multiple times. So essentially that was just a chatbot for the web, SMS, WhatsApp, and they were exploring the Instagram. They're not active there, but they've been like thinking of running the Instagram like and Facebook ad campaigns with the actual call to action to send a message. I was not able to close him, and this was like the talk to partner thing and objection. But honestly, I tend to believe him, because I think in our conversation, during our conversations, he right away mentioned that so on the booking calendar like link, he mentioned that he's a co-founder. So it means that he actually has someone to talk to. So it's not like he comes up with the excuses on the call. Plus, he was already aware of the pricing, and we've been like going back and forth. So we'll see if I'll be able to close him in the coming weeks. But the guy it's not this one, it was just a screenshot. So he was actually looking for an automation for the prospect research for the sales team, and he's not looking for a service, so like an agency service. He's looking more for a coaching / build. And in a nutshell, they use Close for the CRM, this is like a regular clay enrichment setup with like that, where you build the workflow around clay with make.com that research the prospect. And then depending on what they want to do, because they do both, they do the DM LinkedIn outreach, they do cold emails, and they do the cold calls. And he was specifically curious about the cold calls, so that once someone picks up the phone and start calling the prospects, they have all the information about the prospects. And this is what we've been like playing around with. I offered him to build a prototype for, $500. That was like very straightforward prototype structure. He would provide 10 sample leads. We will build a workflow around these leads in Clay, obviously like 10 leads plus the info and the offer that they are doing. So the info that we need plus the offer. And we would build a research agent that research the information that will be relevant and useful for the team on the sales call. I will present it, I think, in a few weeks, and we'll see. I would probably charge them a few $1,000s. So, by the way, before we like finalize it, guys, sorry like for promoting 99 players third time, but I get people asking me all the time about these things. I have sales recordings, right? So, and inside 99 players, we have offers library, which is a collection of sales calls and interviews that I did with my prospects. So I think 2 of these actual calls are there. So like the members can watch it. For you, you need to, trust me by word and see what I say, okay? And I got one referral which was interested in the consultation coaching for the cold email infrastructure. Was not able to close. He's still he is interested, I think, but he's like still thinking. And it was a referral from our manufacturer client that is also in the food sourcing space. And he got us probably 4 or 5 referrals that we actually worked with. So that client was super valuable. Why? Because they are in a very specific niche where they communicate with other businesses, but they don't have too much competitors. So for example, this, I think it was like pesticides manufacturer from like Michigan. And we've been going back and forth because when I was in the US, I was in Michigan, and I think his son is playing hockey. So we find kind of a few touch points. But he's also a manufacturer, and he is a friend of the owner of like our client. So he's like not his direct competitor, not even indirect. So it's like different niches, but they're all own like the factories. So he said that we are driving them great results, and that's why we were on the call. So I'm pretty confident that at the end of the day, we will be able to close the client. Okay guys, thanks for watching the video. See you in the next one. Peace.